I'm about to lose my brain stuck inside this ghetto rapture. I got a lot of smoke. If you want it, you can have it. They want a hat trick, but this is black girl magic. Ain't talking about the kind that'll make you disappear, but I'm talking about the power of the melanin within. Ain't looking for trouble, but I'ma say this one time. I put two dukes up if you try to touch mine. We still want justice for Samir and Trayvon. You say you don't see color, but racism ain't blind. They targeting little kids whose skin look just like mine. So I'm paranoid, it's a war zone outside. And I'm a black queen, so if you ask me to step out of my car, you gon' have to snatch me. Cause I ain't going no damn well. Had to spend my whole life living unfair. Ancestors got my back and they right here. You can never understand, it's a nightmare. Living in my black shoes by the black rules. You can keep your handshake, I don't dap coons. The white man to go nuts if he can't shoot. But you all on his side like a damn fool. Make it make sense.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
We are exploited. We are downtrodden.
Make it make
We are
sense.
denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us is come together
Queen.
against the common enemy. Who taught you to hate the texture of your
Ahmadiyyah.
hair? Who taught you to hate the color of your
Ahmadiyyah.
skin?
Parents, pay attention to the books, the school system, even to your little children. Lies mixed with wisdom. His skin too bright, so he was blind to the prison. My skin just right, so I collide with division. You trying to pray to God, but we tired of religion. No savior saving, we got to save our savings. We used to pay miss, how we gon' make the slave rich? But who's to blame, and tell me why you complaining? We need a team effort just to rule the nation. Like a bad relationship, missing communication. We missing moderation. They trying to get a poison to my population. No reparations. I'm getting tired of Satan.
We are oppressed.
Queen.
I'm getting tired of waiting.
We are downtrodden.
Queen.
We are denied not only civil rights, but even human rights.
Ahmadiyyah.
So the only way we're going to get some of this
Ahmadiyyah.
oppression and exploitation
Queen.
away from us or aside from us.
All right. Hello, everyone. Hello. Thanks for tuning back in once again to the original Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur show. Also, thanks to those of you tuned in on the Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur TV show. I'm your host, Queen Ahmadiyyah Shakur, and this is your Daily Vitamins. So as you're coming in, please feel free to go ahead and subscribe to the channel or unsubscribe, whatever you choose. But if you do subscribe, be sure to click that notification bell and click the word all so that you're notified each time the Queen Goddess goes live. Don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur. Also on TikTok at Dr. A Shakur. Twitter at DGoddess27. Okay. Hello, Ciara, Emperor Rex, Silent D. Juju is in the house. Okay. Greta, I see you. Miss Coco B. G from the land at Crazy Beach Aries. Okay. Timber Dan. All right. So let's get ready to get back into it. Everyone, please be sure to get those likes up. Please like and share. I see you, Christine. You all make sure you like and share. Y'all know they have the Queen Shadow Band. Y'all know how it goes. Okay. Hello, Nessa G. Laverne is in the house. Lillian X. Okay. Queen Shay. Milo is in the house. Carmen. Okay. Mommy, I see you. Nicole, Stacy. With that all being said, let's get into it. Okay, this isn't going to be very long, but I do want to touch on what Jason Whitlock had to say, because y'all know I can't stand Jason Whitlock. He, in my opinion, is nothing more than an Uncle Ruckus. Okay, so let's talk about it. Now, before I get into it, I'm going to share my screen so you all can see exactly what Jason Whitlock had to say about the whole incident with Tyrie Nichols. All right, I want y'all to pay attention because he's blaming black women for this, single black mothers. That's who he holds to blame, not the perpetrators of the actions, mind you, not the nefarious thugs and gang members and badges who perpetuated this heinous crime. No, he wants to blame black mothers. So let's get into it.
Would examine the racial element of this, because there is a racial element. And this is a story about young black men and their inability to treat each other in a humane way. Everybody involved in this on the street level was either 24 to 32 years old. Everybody. It was a group of young black men, 5-on-1. Looked like gang violence to me. It looked like what young black men do when they're supervised by a single black woman. And that's what they got going on in the Memphis Police Department. They've elected some or put some black woman in charge of the police force. And we're getting the same kind of chaos and disunity and violence that we see in a lot of these cities that are run by single mothers. If we want to discuss the breakdown of family that leads to disrespect for authority, that causes you to resist the police and run from the police and not comply with the police because you resist authority at all time, because there was no male authority in your home, let's have that discussion. But that's not where they want to take us. They want to take us down the path of saying, you know what, this is Tucker Carlson's fault. This is some random white, this is Donald Trump's fault. It's not. It's the breakdown of family and the buying in to all these left-wing things that have nothing to do with promoting family.
Okay, so very interesting words and commentary from Jason Hamhock Whitlock, though I'm not surprised. But let me say this. First of all, he's blaming single black mothers as if we're the only race of women that are single, and also implying that most single mothers, black mothers, don't do a good job with raising their kids. Here's what I have to say about that. First of all, what happened in the case of Tyrie Nichols has nothing to do with single black mothers. It has everything to do with those men and the way they chose to behave. And I'm sure some of them, in fact, had fathers in their homes. Okay, I'm pretty sure. Does he blame the Karens of the world when they have these mass shooters between the ages of 18 to 35? Does he blame Karens for that? Does he blame the Karens for these hate crimes that are perpetuated against people that are non-white? Does he blame Karens for that? I have so many questions. What is he talking about? Single black mothers. And if he's going to blame the mothers, well, aren't the absentee fathers an issue that he should be speaking upon? And I do believe that Jason Whitlock himself, from what I read or heard, is also or was raised by a single black mother. So what is he talking about? He sounds real stupid, but here's the thing. You see, single black mothers, in my opinion, are the strongest women in the world, okay? We put on the hats as father and mother in many cases. That's just what it is. Now, if he's going to blame the single mothers, why isn't he saying, where are these fathers who are no longer in the home, who are absent? And even if they were absent and not in the home, they could have still been doing something to help raise their sons. Some of them did not. And that doesn't just go for black absentee fathers. That goes for all absentee fathers. Why isn't he addressing those things? Why isn't he talking about how the government, worked in concert with other entities and against black people to take the fathers out of the home with programs like Section 8? I have so many questions. Why doesn't he bring up that? Why doesn't he talk about the school to prison pipeline, which targets black children and teens? Why doesn't he talk about Child Protective Services and how they're one of the biggest human trafficking organizations that we know of? Why doesn't he talk about all those things? Why doesn't he talk about the white officers who act like gang members and thugs and who ensue and cause violence on people of color, black people? Why doesn't he talk about that? Because we've had much more cases of Caucasian officers attacking black men like Tyrie and doing those same things. So why doesn't he say all this when that happens? Why doesn't he say, well, where are these single white mothers who are raising these young males without fathers in the home? Why doesn't he go in on them? I have so many questions. Yes, he does, Eileen. He does need to sit down somewhere. He sounds real stupid and quite frankly niggering as far as I'm concerned. Okay, to sit there and try to blame single Black mothers for what happened, that's real crazy. Another thing is, he didn't say anything about that white officer that was involved in it. He didn't say anything about that. And you all know it was a white officer involved in it, right? That officer has not been called to carpet. They've not said his name, and his face has been shown along with everyone else's. Why didn't he say anything about that? I have questions. Or does he not even know that? And if he doesn't know all the facts and details, then maybe he needs to sit down somewhere and shut up. He was really licking Tucker Carlson's boots. Oh, they want to blame the Tucker Carlsons. That's what he says. Why doesn't he have this same smoking energy when we see Caucasian males specifically out there fighting, committing acts of violence and turning over cars, breaking street lights and all that just because their team lost a game? And they call them party goers going a ride, or they say some fans got out of control. They don't call them violence and thugs and animals like they do Black folk. Why didn't he address those issues? I just have so many questions. But hold on, because here's what he had to say about Ciara. You know, Ciara left a comment on Twitter giving her thoughts about what he said. So let's get into it. Ciara calls out Jason Whitlock for offensive Tyrie Nichols commentary. So here we go. And here's what someone else said. Bishop Talbot Swan. He posted on Twitter and said, white boys go into churches, supermarkets, schools, malls, and nightclubs and violently delete innocent people. Jason Whitlock never blamed white women for this. And that's my point. Why doesn't he blame Karens for these Klansmen, these neo-Nazis, these white nationalists, all of these wanton, hateful, wicked, nefarious supremacists who engage in acts of public lynchings even in 2023 of Black people? I'm sorry, say what now? Why doesn't he say anything about the women who raised those? In fact, here's the thing. You see, Karens are the mothers, okay? White women are the mothers of white supremacy. He knows that, but he's not going to say that. He don't want to have that discussion. That's what he doesn't want to talk about. He wants to blame everything on Black folk. Why doesn't he talk about the systemic oppression in this country? I have so many questions. Hold on. Let me find Ciara's comment real quick. Everyone, please get those likes up. Please like and share. Here's what Ciara said. Here's what Ciara said. I'm going to show this on the screen. Hold on. Okay. So here we go. That crazy bitch Eric said he got paid for it. Oh, yes, I'm quite sure they gave him a few trinkets for it, for his hard work. Okay, she says, at Jason Whitlock, or at Whitlock Jason, as a Black man, to get on national TV and say something like this is irresponsible. And a lot of amazing kids have come from single mothers. For you to also undermine single Black women in the midst of this tragedy is so sad. This woman just lost her son. Do better. And she's absolutely right. And other people had something to say too. I told you what Bishop Talbot Swan had to say. Representative Monroe Nichols said, legitimately the worst take anyone could possibly have. I was raised by a single Black mother. I came to Oklahoma knowing not one soul. And today I am a member of the Oklahoma House of Representatives because of that single Black mother. So Jason Whitlock, shut the F up. Okay, that's what he needs to do. Nikki McCann Ramirez says Jason Whitlock blames the deletion of Tyrie Nichols on the Memphis Police Department and being headed by a single Black woman. We are getting the same kind of chaos and disunity and violence that we see in a lot of the cities run by single mothers. Yeah, that's what he said. He blamed it not only on the single mothers who raised those men, but also the ones who run the cities. That's what he said. Jamal Bowen says, hey, at Whitlock Jason, I was raised by a single black mother. I'm now the first black man to hold his congressional seat in U.S. history. I also have a doctorate in education leadership and was principal of one of the top middle schools in the Bronx. So people had a lot to say about what Jason, when he made those idiotic comments, which I find, very hypocritical, because they do say that he himself was raised by a single black mother. But now here's his response to Ciara. He says, appreciate the feedback, Ciara, but at some point, we're going to have to deal with the negative impact of baby mama culture. It's destructive and unsustainable. Come up out of the denial. Denial won't fix the problem. Thanks. That's what he said to Ciara. Denial won't fix the problem. Thanks. Well, I agree with him on that. Denial won't fix the problem. No matter what problem you're dealing with, in searching for a solution, the last thing you need to do is deny the real issue. But see, that's exactly what Jason is doing. That's why he is someone who is, quite frankly, hypocritical. You see, and he contradicts himself, because he is denying that white women raise these wanton supremacist devils who go out here and wreak havoc and commit violence. I mean, who are the most likely to be serial killers, and who are they raised by? He doesn't say anything about that. He doesn't say anything about that. And when Derek Chauvin and those cops that aided him in his crime against George Floyd, he didn't say anything about who raised them. He didn't say that they acted like gang members and thugs on the street. He didn't say anything about all that, but that's absolutely what they act like. And I find it very interesting, because you see, in LA, okay, the Los Angeles County Sheriff's Office, that's run by Alex Villanueva, they have actual gangs, police gangs, called the Bandidos and the Executioners. And I've mentioned this to you many a times. Why doesn't he say anything about who raises them? I'm sorry, because most of those gang members are Caucasian and Latinos, Caucasian Latinos. So why doesn't he say anything about that? School shooters, serial killers, and pedos. Yes, Odd Negro's official. He didn't say anything about any of those. He didn't say anything about who raised Dylan Roof. Okay, he didn't say anything about that. The New Zealand killer, he didn't say anything about that. Jeffrey Dahmer. I'm just saying, there's a whole list of people we could go down. He didn't say anything about any of those people. What about the guy who shot up that market in New York, deleting those black people? He didn't say anything about that. What about the one who shot up all the Asian spas here in Atlanta, deleting these Asian people? He didn't say anything about that. I'm just curious why he doesn't think that's a problem, why he doesn't think that they have single mothers. And if he does know that they have single mothers, which I'm sure he does, is he trying to say that those single mothers are doing a better job than black single mothers? And if he thinks that, then why? What proof does he have to substantiate that claim? I have a lot of questions. That's all I'm saying. Okay, Jason Whitlock, Ham Hock Whitlock needs to sit down somewhere. Okay, this whole, tiptoeing around the tulips and buck dancing and all of that, it's really getting pretty old at this point. It really is. So anyway, let me pull up some more, pull up the videos from Tyrie Nichols' family and Attorney Crump, what they had to say. Let me pull this up real quick. Everyone, please like and share. Thank you in advance.
I hate to bring this up, but I just have to be honest. You know Emmett Till?
Yes.
It's reminiscent of that.
I haven't seen the video.
I'm talking about what you saw when you went to the hospital.
Oh, yes. 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 That was terrible.
Dad, you agree with that?
Oh, most definitely. Because I'm the one who took the picture that's being circulated. And I took the picture because he was in such horrific condition. He shouldn't have been in that condition from pepper spray and tasing.
He was never conscious.
No.
You said you believe if he lived, he would have been a vegetable.
Yes.
Yeah.
The last words on that video that America's going to hear, and Miss Wells, he calls out for you 3 times. Mm-hmm. Gut-wrenching screams for his mom.
Cause...
Go ahead, Mom.
That was my baby. He was a mama's boy. That boy loved me to death. He has my name tattooed on his arm. People don't know what those 5 police officers did to our family. And they really don't know what they did to their own families. They have put their own families in harm's way. They have brought shame to their own families. They brought shame to the Black community. I just feel sorry for them. I really do. I really feel sorry for them.
Why do you say that?
Because they didn't have to do this. And like I said, they brought a lot of shame to their own family. Once you see this video, and I know I didn't see it, but from what I hear, it's horrific. And the humanity of it all, where was the humanity? They beat my son like a piñata. My son, he had Crohn's disease. He had surgery in 2013. My son weighed $150. He was 6'3".
That's also sad. Hold on, I'm going to show this next video.
Joining us now from Memphis are Tyrie's mother, Rovon Wells, his stepfather, Rodney Wells, and the family's attorney, Ben Crump. Thank you all for being with us this morning. Attorney Crump, I want to start with you because this is what you do. You represent the families when they are in situations like this. Describe what you make of the video.
As I said, the video was going to remind a lot of people of Rodney King, but as America watched this video, everybody has concluded it's much worse. It is appalling, deplorable, heinous, and you can go all the way through the alphabet, but you get to the end and everybody concludes it is so unnecessary how Tyrie Nichols was killed. He never should have been killed in this manner.
And you say so much worse because, of course, he did die days later. Mrs. Wells, I want to bring you in and just express our condolences to you and your family. Thank you for being with us. I know as of last night you said that you hadn't watched the video. How difficult was it to learn that your son was calling out for you?
It was very difficult. As a mother, you want to always be there when your children need you. So when I heard that my son was calling my name and I wasn't there for him, that just hurt my heart.
Mrs. Wells, as a mother, my heart absolutely breaks for you. Can you tell us, how do you feel about the charges against those 5 officers, the fact that they have been charged relatively quickly in this case?
After the charges were explained to me, I'm actually okay with the charges. The district attorney and the chief of police has done an excellent job in getting this done quickly and swiftly, and we still have more to do.
Yes.
Mr. Wells, what do you think of the other first responders who were there, the sheriff's deputies who have since been relieved of duty? Do you think that there are others who should also be charged?
Most definitely. It looks as though it may be maybe 5, 6 other police officers that should be charged in this case. There was also at the initial encounter with my son, there was a white officer that was tasing my son, and we don't understand how come his name was not put out there or mentioned in this whole fiasco. So yes, I think that there should be quite a few additional charges.
And Mr. Wells, you know, watching that video, as difficult as it is, there's a point where they say that Tyrie reached for an officer's gun, that he had his hand on an officer's gun. And now that there are questions about the nature of that stop, whether there was any reckless driving to initiate it, what do you make of what was happening with the officers at the time of that video?
Well, anybody who watched the video know that Tyrie did not reach for an officer's gun. He was just trying to cover his tail. And if you know Tyrie, like we know Tyrie, he would have never, ever tried to reach for an officer's gun. That doesn't even make common sense.
And Mr. Crump, I want to bring you back in really quickly. These officers, all 5 of them, they are black. And you have said that this shows that police violence isn't about an officer being black or white. It is about blue. And you say that it shows that this is systemic.
Absolutely. It's institutionalized police culture that continues to have implicit bias, whether the officer is black, Hispanic, or white, where the excessive force continues to be exerted against black people and brown people. We don't see our white brothers and sisters who are unarmed brutalized like this by police. And we have to finally get police reform, as Rovon continues to pray, like so many other parents and mothers especially.
Absolutely. Mr. Crump, thank you so much for being with us. Mr. and Mrs. Wells, again, we extend our deepest condolences to you and your family, and thank you again for being with us.
Okay, well, here's the thing. I saw some people online saying that people are complaining about the police being fired and charged so quickly. I don't see anyone complaining about them being charged and fired quickly. I think people are glad that that's what happened. What I do see is people making a contrast between how quickly they were fired and charged, as opposed to, Caucasian officers who do the exact same thing. That's not complaining and saying that you don't want them to be charged quickly. That's not saying that at all. But this is some of the narratives that some racists are trying to paint, saying, oh, I can't believe they're complaining because they were arrested. No one's complaining about that. What we're saying is this just proves that you absolutely can fire them quickly, charge them quickly. You can do all of that. That's what the police can do. Okay, that's what they can do. But they refuse to do that when it's in the case of Caucasian officers. You see, when it's Caucasian officers, they want to say, oh, we have to have an investigation. We have to see what happened before the video footage came out, before the video started recording. We have to put them on a paid administrative leave. You see, that's what they do. That's nothing to me more than nothing more to me than a stall tactic. That's a stall tactic. Okay. And then at the end of the day, yes, when it is Black officers, they do get, treated differently. In this case, that's very good. I'm so glad. But they should do the same thing with all of these nefarious, hateful, wicked, demonic officers who go out here and brutalize the community, specifically African Americans, and act as whole domestic terrorists, okay, when they're supposed to be doing their jobs, which includes gathering evidence, protecting and serving, and those things, okay? But out here just brutalizing people, like they're going to war in Iraq or somewhere, yeah, they should be held accountable quickly. Swift punishment, okay, should be inflicted as soon as possible. And at the end of the day, it shouldn't just be Black officers. It should be all officers, no matter their race or ethnicity, that behave in those ways. All right, that's just what that should be. No one's saying these officers should have been arrested and fired quickly, because we're glad that they were. We're glad that they were. Okay. So with that all being said, let me share this other video of this young woman who was stabbed 6 times by her so-called friend and roommate. And this is all crazy. This happened in Miami, Florida. Everyone, please get the likes up. Please like and share.
Only on 6, a South Florida woman screaming for her life while getting stabbed.
And the attacker is someone she knew. Good evening, everyone. I'm Trina Robinson.
And I'm Jawan Strader. Good evening. Police arrested her roommate for attempted murder.
NBC6 reporter Nico Clemens live from the hospital with this exclusive tonight. Nico.
Juwan, Trina, this was violent, it was gruesome and just tragic. But Dejon Harrison, she's taking it one day at a time. She spent a couple weeks here at the hospital, but now she's home healing both physically and mentally and ready for her second chance at life.
Please stop, like you're gonna kill me, stop.
She didn't see it coming.
Total disregard for my life.
On January 6th, Dejon Harrison thought she was gonna die. She was home with her roommate, Abigail Hennington, on Northwest 12th Court and 55th Terrace in Miami, when they got into a disagreement over a missing cell phone. What happened next?
She started stabbing me repeatedly.
Harrison says Hennington, someone she considered a friend, stabbed her 6 times. You can hear Harrison screaming on their home camera and pleading for help.
One more stab and I'm dead. Then there's one more, then one more is, it just doesn't stop.
Hennington did eventually stop. She left the house, but police picked her up the next day. Harrison says moments after her roommate attacked her, she found herself holding her insides in her hand.
I just had to hold it. I couldn't let it go the whole time.
It's been an emotional roller coaster for Harrison. Surgery, stitches, blood transfusions, eating from a tube. But she says what keeps her going is the support and her faith.
I just don't want to feel defeated. So I just keep on going.
She's counting her blessings and thankful for her second chance at life.
When it's your time to go, it's your time to go, because obviously she wanted me gone, but God had other plans for me. By the grace of God, I'm still here,
Harrison has started physical therapy, and there is a GoFundMe for her. It's on our website right now if you'd like to help out. Hennington, she has a court date coming this Monday. Harrison plans to attend.
Okay, so that is also deplorable. Someone that she thought was her friend. And this all started over a phone, supposedly. The young lady was looking for her phone. The roommate said that, she was helping her look for it. And then she said, the phone's right in front of you. You don't see it. And she said, well, if you see it, just tell me where it is. And she's like, it's right there. You don't see it. It's right in front of you. You always, see it. You're always misplacing things, but you don't look for them. And so that's how the whole thing started. And then she got angry because the young lady told her that she was acting crazy. So that seemed to trigger her. And then so she went on this spree and started stabbing the woman. I believe I spoke to you all about this story before. But not only that, she had actually stabbed her own brother before. So in another interview, the young lady said that she didn't expect her to do anything with the knife. In fact, she told her to put the knife down. But I would definitely have thought that someone's going to do something. I don't put anything past anybody. If you pick up a knife, I'm going to expect that you're going to use it. Okay, so I'm going to do something to defend myself if I'm able to. And also, by the fact that she had already stabbed her own brother, I definitely would have thought she was serious. But sadly, the young lady didn't really take it serious, and this is the end result. This person was obviously never her friend. I don't see any friend that would get so mad over something so trivial, and they commit to stabbing you like that and almost taking your life. Okay, that was clearly not a friend, probably someone who was in fact jealous of her from the start. Okay, just clearly demonic. Yes, absolutely, Mia. But let me say this. I saw someone in the chat when I was talking about the Tyrie Nichols situation. Someone said, why don't some of these civil rights attorneys go to the Supreme Court and set precedents? Well, here's the thing. The Supreme Court already has a precedent on how to deal with police brutality. It was in 1982 with the case of Harlow versus Fitzgerald. The Supreme Court ruled that you cannot bring these suits against police officers. That's why they give them qualified immunity. Okay, the Supreme Court held that federal government officials are entitled to qualified immunity. That they have the police, the fact that they have qualified immunity, that is Supreme Court precedent. Okay, and that's been the case since 1982 per the case of Harlow versus Fitzgerald. Okay, that's one of the cases I studied when I was in college for criminal justice. So with that all being said, yes, they absolutely do have precedent. But here's the thing, you should look at it like this. A lot of people say these attorneys, these civil rights attorneys like Benjamin Crump, Lee Barrett, that they're ambulance chasers or they're just out there for money or whatever. Well, here's the thing. anytime there is a harm or an injury perpetuated upon people, there's always, the ability to sue them if you can't get anything else. It's up to the judicial system to press criminal charges against these devils who commit these heinous acts and to send them to trial, okay, where they can be convicted, hopefully. That's up to them, the criminal justice system. You see, civil rights attorneys, these attorneys deal with civil cases. Okay, that has nothing to do with criminal cases. But at the end of the day, I know it seems like, oh, they're just trying to make money and all of that. Well, that is how they make money. But if there's, anything they can do for the family, it would be to try to get them some form of compensation. Okay, if you go to work and you get hurt on your job, you would likely sue them for compensation for medical bills and things like that. If you get in a car accident, it's the same thing. So when someone loses their life, even if it's like a wrongful death suit or something like that, or in the case of these police brutality situations where someone is deleted or seriously injured, that's what they do. But sue everyone, especially if if they harm or delete your loved ones. Yes, absolutely, Miss Evie. So with that all being said, yes, the Supreme Court is the ones. They're the ones that have allowed these police officers since 1982 to have qualified immunity. Okay, that's what they ruled. All right. So at the end of the day, this whole system, in my opinion, is corrupt. It works in the favor of some people and against other people. That's how I view it. And these things are not going to change. They're not going to change anytime soon until we collectively, as Black people, start to unify and, say that we're not going to continue to put up with this type of treatment and start doing something about it. Okay, whether it's getting them to write legislation, and not just protesting in the streets, because to me, protesting doesn't do anything. That's why I don't protest. That's not doing anything. That to me, protesting is the equivalent of you getting into an argument with your spouse at home, and rather than continue to argue, you just leave and go for a walk until you calm down and cool down, and then you come back. That's what protesting is to me. You go out there and you're angry, you're mad, you march, you shout, you yell, you hold up your signs and all of that. And then when you calm down, the protests start. So that's not the solution either. Okay, that's not the answer. All right. So we have many more miles to go before we sleep. But in the meantime, we have to be, trying to unify together, not sowing seeds of division. And we have to also talk to the youth. Okay, and try to stop having so much of this criminal activity in our neighborhoods. We need to teach our young people, teenagers, specifically how to interact with police. And though sometimes it doesn't matter how you interact with them, they can still do something nefarious, as we see. But at the end of the day, at least, give you some of the tools so that you know your rights. When speaking to the police, you know what you should and shouldn't do, what you should and shouldn't say, and things like that. So that's a start. But they have qualified immunity. And in my opinion, that's one of the biggest problems. Okay, that is one of the worst things that the Supreme Court ruled on, in my opinion, because without qualified immunity, I do not think these cops would be so willful and so quick to go out here and perpetuate these depraved and heinous acts, these egregious acts that they get into. I don't think they would be so quick to do it, because if they knew that they stood to lose something, okay, if they knew that they could absolutely be sued and held accountable, and charges pressed. And here's another thing. There should be, in my opinion, there should be mandatory minimums for cops who go out here and perpetuate these acts. There should absolutely be a standard. They should be held to a higher standard than ordinary criminals, because if you're sworn to protect and uphold the law and all of that, and to defend the Constitution, and that's what you should be doing. And if you're not doing it, you should get a much graver consequence than regular everyday citizens. All right. So Yes, absolutely. August Dream says #end qualified immunity. Absolutely, that's what they should do. Okay, so with that all being said, I'm going to conclude this broadcast. I want to thank you all for tuning back in once again. Please like and share. Be sure to like and share the videos. Subscribe to the channels if you haven't done so already. Unsubscribe if you don't like what the Queen is cooking. And don't forget to follow me on Instagram at Dr._A_Shakur, on TikTok at Dr. A Shakur, and on Twitter at DGoddess27. All right, I love you all to life. Enjoy the rest of this evening. Each one teach one. That's how we grow and thrive. Do something productive, constructive, but never destructive. And always remember to keep the Most High first in your lives. Peace.
Hey, yo, Nick, hit him with that flavor. Gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you're done. They show no love for the Queen, why you hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans? I got dreams like King Luther, shed blood like Kunta. You ain't helping my people, I ain't got nothing to say to ya. I want all the smoke like hookah. Talking reparations, America won't be great until they give us compensation. I'm like, I'm the hottest right now.
That's
See
right.
a bunch of lames out here trying to jock on my style. They be doing too much. I'm the Queen, it's too easy. It's like they all at Popeyes, how they be talking so greasy.
Real slick.
I just sit back and laugh while these haters get madder. So nefarious how they don't want my pockets with cheddar. I tell them they can do better. These snakes in the grass can leave a bite on your ass, cause y'all be trusting too fast. I got my foot on the gas, other one on they necks. Dropping receipts on haters, you better show some respect. I'm never facing regrets, we only facing the threats. Running through every challenge like a relay, break no sweat. It's a cold game, so I got that blanket with me. Now that my people awaken, ain't no going to sleep. I do not play by my piece, this time I'm playing for keeps. You talking slick, but when I see you like them ends, we gon' meet. And I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the Queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got gold all in my skin, God all in my blood. Kings all in my circle, you touch one of mine and you done. They show no love for the Queen, why they hating on me? Is it cause I'm free and I got Malcolm X in my jeans and I got